Greetings. I'm your host, Glen Alex, and this is the Glen Alex Show, the 2023 Positive Change Podcast Award winner for health and wellness and finalist in the psychology category. I am so thankful for this very humbling acknowledgement of my work and for this platform for allowing me to share my mission, to pursue my mission and my message. And my mission is to help as many people as I can be joyful, connected, confident, and complete the life experience I call WELLTH, WELLTH, which is health plus other riches. And to that end, every episode of the Glen Alex Show focuses on a different aspect of health because being wealthy requires total health. All of you matter. You are whole and all of you matter. So please join us on this journey and help me welcome my guest, Ashley Williams, to the Glen Alex Show. I'm so stoked about this one because there's a lot to cover and a lot of topics that I think will benefit humanity. Please help me welcome Ashley Williams to the Glen Alex Show. Hi,
Thank you.
Ashley.
How you doing, Glenn?
I am doing well. How are you?
I'm excited to be here.
I'm so glad you're excited because I'm excited to have you. Um, I, I have so much I want to talk to you about. I just hope we can get at least, the majority of it in. So we'll see how it goes. Okay. So could you please take a minute and just introduce yourself? Tell us who you are and what you do.
Mhm. Ashley Williams. I'm the founder and CEO of Climb. Climb is an emotional health software for school-age children. So we meet young people through technology, and then we empower them with coping skills that they can carry around in their pockets. I also have the pleasure of traveling and working with adults across the country and across the world to help them manage their own emotional experiences. A big mindfulness and meditation practitioner. Been doing that for a few years. I'm a meditation teacher in the city where I live in Maryland.
Okay. And you're a yoga instructor as well.
Not asana yoga, yoga philosophy.
Okay.
So the science of meditation.
Oh, awesome.
hmm
Okay. Okay, very good. So what led you into this line of work, this path?
I've been doing it for a very long time. I'm a former educator, former school leader. And in my capacity as a school leader, I was responsible for the emotional health of staff and students. So I would develop curriculum, write curriculum, implement programming to support the mental and emotional health of teachers and of students. And so it's been my passion for quite a while.
Okay. Okay, very good. Now, before we jump into any into the topics, could you just define for the audience three words? Let's start with mindfulness.
Mindfulness is the ability to pay attention to the present moment with total acceptance. The biggest words there are pay attention and present moment. And then the third is acceptance.
Okay.
So paying attention to what's here with total acceptance, without your judgment, without the notes of the mind, just letting it be.
Okay. And how is acceptance a big part of that?
Um, most of what we do is not accept. That's the pretty standard human response. If I want something to be this way, my emotional responses, my thoughts say I can respond with anger, with fear, with shutting down. I can freeze, and that puts us in a state of resistance, right? There's
Yes.
a neural pathway that we've developed in our brain that takes us into a state that feels like we're contracted on ourselves. But when we practice acceptance, when we practice letting it be, that attachment isn't present. And so it basically creates a whole other neural pathway that allows us to just meet whatever shows up with steadiness, with clarity, with insight, with wisdom, with stability, um, and whatever shows up in your life. I mean, life is all about bringing presents that you do not expect. And so, how wonderful it is to be able to meet whatever that is with stability. Like whatever comes
Yes.
my way, I can still be stable.
I totally agree with that. Life is challenging and downright it can be downright painful sometimes, yet it's my position, this is what I share with my clients is the more present you are, then the more power you have to cope with it, to deal with it, to heal, and to move forward. So I love the way you just put that. Thank you.
Mhm.
All right, second definition, meditation.
Meditation is a very ancient technique. It's a tool, a resource that helps us to cultivate mindfulness.
Okay.
Not complicated at all. It's just a tool. It's a technique, and there are many different ways of meditation. Right? I like to practice meditation where I'm connecting my body to my breath. It requires me to close my eyes. Some people practice walking meditation. But again, it's just what helps us to practice presence. It's a tool that helps us to practice presence.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, I have clients who say, well, I can't sit still that long and not that long, or I can't make my mind go blank. What would you say to them about meditation?
Drop by drop, the bucket is filled. Meaning, if it's difficult for you to sit in stillness for the amount of time that you can sit in stillness. And if that is 10 seconds, that 10 seconds is what leads to the 15. That 15 is what leads to the 30 seconds, to the 10 minutes, and on and on and on. So you just have to get started. If you put no drops in the bucket, you put no drops in the bucket. So I get that if we're not in the practice of stillness, it's difficult. But things can be difficult and it's okay to be uncomfortable. um, it's okay to be uncomfortable. And then what was the second question? I'm sorry.
Oh, one client complained that they couldn't make their minds go blank.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is, meditation is not about making the mind go blank. That's a misunderstanding about why we practice meditation. Meditation is about being with what is here. Without it goes back to mindfulness. It's about just sitting and
Hmm.
whatever comes up comes up. I don't have to go with what comes up. A very popular way of describing it is has to do with the clouds, which you've probably heard before. When you practice meditation, you're just an observer of passing clouds, right? Here
Hmm.
is a cloud of a memory that comes up from when I was 7. Here's a cloud of a conversation that I had with my spouse earlier this morning. But typically, what we do, if we're not observing the clouds, we're writing them. So I'm right there in that conversation that I had with my
Okay.
spouse, which might have been an argument, and I felt anger, and then I feel angry in that moment. I'm pulling the past into my present, and my body becomes rigid with the feeling that I had 3 hours ago. So that's typically what we do in day to day. But meditation, again, is not about making the mind go blank. It's about observing what's already present in the mind.
Okay. And so effective meditation requires a level of detachment from
It
what
we
is.
we learn how to uh so that's an outcome of meditation.
Okay.
You learn how to
Okay.
practice that. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Very
Hmm.
good. And the third definition, breath work.
Breath work. So breath work is um can be defined as connecting the body and the breath to induce the relaxation response in your brain. So every brain has a little button that you can press to alleviate all tension. And the breath is that button that you can press.
Okay.
And so breath work is the science of bringing your body into a relaxation state.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm taking mental notes here. I'm pretty busy right now. Um, okay, those are awesome. Thank you, thank you. So in your work, generally, is there a first step you take with new clients or new people practicing?
Yes, and it depends on the age group that I'm working with as well.
Okay,
So if I'm working with adults, the very first thing that I would like to establish is their why, because the why is the engine, it's the oil in the engine that keeps us going,
okay,
because there will be a day when you don't feel like doing it, whatever your tool or your practice is. And so you have to have that why to keep going. So that's very foundational. Like, what is your why? Let's build on our skills from the why. And then when I work with young people, which is primarily through my software, Climb, it's just to get a foundational understanding of what are the emotional wellness skills that they have and where are the places that they need support.
okay,
And then, so the software does that. And then once the software understands, it's able to provide them with resources to meet them where they are.
okay, okay.
Hmm.
Oh, we'll talk about climb in a little bit. Right
Hmm.
now for adults,
Yeah.
because I'm in the health and wellness space.
Yeah.
How does mindfulness and or meditation and or breath work enhance health?
Hmm. You know, there's so much science, there's so much data around the impact of a meditation practice on the human, not just on your mental health, but your physical health as well. So, meditation actually reduces the amount of cortisol that we have in our bodies, which increase our stress levels, which impact our cardiac health. And, so you can reduce cortisol in your body. One, when you practice meditation, when you do breath work regularly, you sleep better. You actually have better sleep. And so you also improve your mental and emotional well-being. So your responses that you have throughout the day
Hmm.
change. There's a part of the brain that's impacted by meditation that enhances the amount of compassion and empathy that we have. So imagine if you could have greater compassion and empathy for yourself. That's a big one. More forgiveness for yourself. And then, of course, that impacts the people that are in our lives. We have greater compassion and empathy for the people that we meet. Meditation has been shown to improve our work performance, so we're sharper. We can access our creativity in a deeper way, new ideas in a deeper way. So it really does help to flourish the gifts and the skills that exist within us. It helps us to tap into what's already here. Most of the time, we're living in the fight, flight, or freeze state. So
Yes.
we're middle brain, reptilian brain beings, right? And
Yes.
all of the blood is rushing to the middle and the reptilian brain. All of the insight is in the prefrontal cortex. It's in the front part of the brain. And so what meditation does is help to keep us in that place where we're steady, where we have access to the benefits of the brain. And we're not motivated and moved by the winds of emotions. We're not letting like fear take us down this place that it's actually illogical, but we're doing it out of habit, out of fear. And God bless these reptilian, brains that we have.
Yes.
They serve their purpose, right?
Yes.
All of this is evolutionary. So we're a byproduct of evolution. Um, our early human predecessors, they had to be highly alert. They had to look out on the world and prepare to run,
Yes.
to prepare to protect themselves. And that part of our brain still exists. And so we're looking out in this very modern world and responding like early humans. But the
doesn't quite
really
fit.
wonderful thing, it doesn't quite fit. That's right. But the really wonderful thing is meditation is scientifically proven to help us overcome that biological response that's inbred in us.
Okay. And it almost sounds as if meditation helps you use your whole brain.
That's right. Meditation helps us to use our whole brain.
Okay. Okay. I like that. I like that a
Mhm.
lot. Um, wow. Okay. And so the more you meditate, then the deeper, um, in using the whole brain, does that help you become more mindfully self-aware?
Mhm. So you're increasing your own level of self-awareness when you meditate.
Hmm.
You're increasing your ability to self-manage, which is really important. You're increasing your capacity to practice resilience. You're increasing your ability to make responsible decisions, right? In the moment, responsible decisions.
Yes.
You're increasing your own social awareness when you meditate. So this is about my relationship, one with myself, my internal landscape. How do I navigate internally?
Hmm.
And then once you learn that through the practice of meditation, you learn how to navigate the external world. And I mean navigate it gracefully. So that's the real gift, is it gives us the key to navigating life in a place of stability, and from a really graceful state.
Okay. Okay. Very good. Very good. So breath work is a tool to use to get you into meditation, into that relaxation state. And when you're in that relaxation state, that enhances your mindfulness and your self awareness and can um, enhance your total health.
Hmm.
Okay.
That's right.
And here, going back to my mission, which is to help as many people as I can be joyful, connected, confident, and complete, healthy on every level, the physical, mental, emotional, even spiritual.
Hmm.
When people are living in total health and they are develop that capacity for self-compassion and compassion for others, how do you see that playing out in the world when we are in total health and self-aware?
You know, a healthy society is really just a group of healthy people. And if we want a healthy society, we have to be that group of healthy people.
Hmm.
And so when you're taking care of your total health, your physical, your mental, your emotional, your spiritual health, you are creating a society. You know, we think of ourselves as an individual, but really what I choose to do as an individual impacts at scale. And so me taking care of myself is creating that foundation for my children, for my neighbor, you know, just like allowing that to flow through me. It sets that example. So for me, I think my mission, my personal mission, is very similar to your personal mission, and it is to impact society at scale through helping individual people, because that's how we get there. So I think that me practicing total health, you practicing total health helps our world to be totally healthy.
Well, and I agree with that. When get into all these political discussions about how corrupt politicians are, et cetera, I said, well, we keep voting them in. So if we have it's the individual that creates the collective. So as you're saying, if we're individually healthier, then the society will be healthier. So
Mhm.
yeah, wow.
And what we witness in the world, whether it's in a politician or a friend, it all goes back to these skills that we're talking about.
Okay.
You know, what we witness play out in our political landscape, we can call that a lack of emotional intelligence. Really simple, right? You're lacking the ability to connect to others, to
Mhm.
empathize with others, to communicate effectively.
Yes.
These are skills that you can learn as a child. You know, you learn these skills the same way you can learn to structure a sentence. And so I think it's about rethinking what is important information that we teach our children. Because if we start teaching these skills at an early age, the things we witness in the world now will naturally evolve past them because when we're in the practice of wellness, of health, some things just can't exist. You
Yes.
can't have certain behaviors
Yes.
because that neural pathway has been healed in your brain. You're not going to go there. And
Okay.
this is applicable to anybody. Like anybody can do this. This isn't like something only certain people can do. Anybody can do this.
Yeah, I think that the mistaken belief is that you have to be rich, you have to have all kinds of free time, you have to be educated, and
Hmm.
no, this is available to everybody, as you say.
Hmm.
Now, one of my pet peeves in society and humanity is that we don't teach these skills to children. And I completely agree that, we teach how to bake cookies,
Hmm.
how to type, but we don't teach how to deal with grief
Hmm.
or manage your anger. So
Hmm.
tell us about Climb.
Hmm. So, CLOM exists to do exactly what you just shared, to teach young people how to recognize their own emotional landscapes and to navigate them in a healthy, meaningful way. And we do it through technology. So we teach them one, to be able to identify an emotional experience that they're having. The software identifies where they need the most support, like do they need support with their social awareness or relationship skills or responsible decision making, and then provides them with resources to increase those competencies over time. And the idea is that if we start to um, teach these skills to young people early, they have this toolbox of resources that they can utilize as they grow into adulthood,
Yes.
and build really wonderful things with the tools that they have. Because emotional wellness impacts every aspect of your life, whether we
Hmm.
know it or not. It impacts your mental health, it impacts your physical health, it even impacts how much you make over the course of a lifetime. And so, these are tools that our children deserve. And then as adults, it's on us as parents, as caregivers, as families to actually model the behaviors that we want to see in our children because the family is the first teacher.
Yeah.
The family is the first teacher. And so the dynamics that we establish in our homes are actually what our children perpetuate, not what we tell our children to do. It's actually what we do.
Yes.
Hmm.
Children see and observe what is being done, not what's
That's
being
right.
said, more so. And so let me just take a moment here to talk to adults. I deal with adults who are experiencing anxiety and depression, and had those adults had these skills that are being taught in Climb, they would be living a better life. They wouldn't be so tied to the past and what the parent said or what the parent didn't give them. So please listen to Ashley and um, go to her website and check this out when she gives out that information, because these tools are absolutely pertinent to a healthy and happy life.
That's right.
Okay. Okay. The rant is over. So do you have any breathing techniques for beginners to induce that relaxation state?
Yeah, a really simple one that I like to start with is just a 7 count in, exhale. So you would inhale, and this is at your own pace. So the way my sevens work will be a little different than the way your
Okay.
sevens work. You find the flow that works for you. So I'm gonna inhale inwardly. I'm gonna count to 7. I'm counting to 7, and then hold for a breath, and then exhale on a count of 7. And then you just inhale, count of 7, hold, exhale, count of 7. And you can do that for a few minutes. You'll notice immediately uh, within your body how it feels. You'll notice like a lightness in your body, like maybe like you're putting down some weights. You've been wearing something heavy and you're putting it down, just like a free flowing inwardly. You'll notice that immediately.
I feel it already.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay. And do you have a recommendation for the types of meditation maybe a beginner should start with?
Yeah, I always encourage beginners to just watch the breath. Really simple. And if you find it hard to like just sit with your own breath for a few seconds, we're not even talking minutes, just for a few seconds. Guided meditations are really helpful because they give the mind what the mind needs, which is something to follow. And that's perfectly okay. Like if you want to try a guided meditation.
Okay. Okay, very good. Very good. Now, what can you give us an example of an activity you use to demonstrate or induce mindfulness?
Um, to bring awareness to the present moment. Wow, it's so many different techniques. A really popular one is like mindful eating. So during when you're having lunch or dinner, to bring your full attention to the process in front of you. So noticing what does the fork feel like as you hold it in your hand, and what does the fork feel like as you pick food up with the fork, and what is the texture of the food in your mouth. And what happens is through the process, and you can do this for food, you can do it while you're walking, you can do it in the grocery store, you're bringing your total focus to the present moment. So you're not anxious thinking about what happened in the past. You're not worried about what's coming up in the future. You're just right here with what's in front of you. And so that's the training in bringing your full attention to whatever is in front of you. I have encouraged people to do this when they get in the car, like right before you go to work. Just take a minute as you sit in the car to just notice 1 minute. Like, what do you notice? What does the chair feel like beneath you? How does your foot feels as it settles on the pedal? What does the steering wheel feels like beneath your hand? Before
Okay.
you get out of the car, when you go into your workplace, sit for a minute. And it seems like it's not a really big deal, but it's actually changing your brain in these moments where you're choosing to pause and to be present. You're
Okay.
teaching yourself to be in a space where um, you're not burdened by your own worries and anxieties. You're at peace with what is present.
Okay. Okay. Now, for the person who says that if I'm mindful and I'm only paying attention to one thing, say while I'm driving, then that means I'm not aware of anything else, and that could be dangerous. It could be a problem.
Well, I don't encourage you to practice this while you're driving. I
No, no,
encourage you
no,
to do
not.
this.
I'm sorry. Let me clarify my question. Not just doing the deep breathing or getting quiet, but if mindfulness is just being aware of what's in front of you, maybe take driving out of the equation. And
Hmm.
if you maybe cooking. So if you're
Hmm.
mindful about cooking, then you're not aware of who's coming through the door, or if there's a siren going down, there's an emergency that you need to pay attention to. What would you say to that person who uses that as an excuse to not be mindful?
So mindful doesn't mean that you can only hold your attention on one thing. Mindful means being present to what's here. So if somebody's at the door and that's what's here, you're aware of it. If an
Okay.
emergency is there, you're aware of it. What mindfulness means is that I can meet whatever shows up gracefully.
Okay.
There's an emergency, I can be responsive to that emergency,
Okay.
right? I'm not overly afraid and anxious. I can be afraid and anxious, but I still have access to the intelligence that will get me through that emergency, that
Okay.
will be supportive and helpful to whatever arises. So it doesn't mean that I'm hyper focused on one thing. That's not what mindfulness is.
Okay.
It just means
Okay.
that I have an awareness for what is present, for what is here.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you for that very clear clarification, because I think people often confuse hyper focus with mindfulness,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
that gets them into um, more angst of what
Hmm.
they're already experiencing. Okay, okay. So, um, what else would you like to share with us?
Um, if you don't have a practice of mindfulness, find a way to get started, just in the smallest way, because it just makes such a huge positive impact on your life, on my life. I'm speaking personally, that I just encourage it for everybody.
Okay, and for um, total health. emotional wellness
That's right.
for a better individual, a better society, a better planet.
That's right.
Okay. Ripple in the pond.
That's right.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Well, I mean, I'm taking all of this in, and they say teachers learn more than the students because the teachers are repeating this, but I feel like I'm learning this more um, than when I teach it. So thank you so much for this. How can people reach you? They have a question, they want a consultation, they want to access Climb.
hmm So you can reach me through the Climb website, and Climb is spelled with a Y, so that's CLYMB. And the website is www.climb, climbup.io. And I think there's a contact form or something if you want to contact me.
Okay. And how long has Climb been around?
Since 2018.
2018. And
hmm
what age groups?
We work with kids in grades K through 12.
K through 12. And everything is
hmm
presented age appropriately.
That's right.
Okay. Awesome.
hmm
Awesome. Okay. Is there any other nugget that you want to share with us?
I think I said what was in me to say.
Okay, then you said what was present.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, I'm getting that. Thank you. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I am absolutely going to replay this and watch it myself and get my notes out of my head and onto my paper. So I really appreciate the work you're doing, and I wish you all the best. And at some point, I hope our paths cross again because I do think this is really crucial work for all of humanity. So thank you again for your time and your expertise.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome, and please be well.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you again for tuning into this episode of the Glen Alex Show. We really hope that you have learned something about mindful self-awareness, how it impacts your emotional wellness, and how it impacts the quality of your life. Please share this episode with everyone you know.
Refresh your spirit with a nourishing thought.
And please allow me to leave you with this nourishing thought. Thich Nhat Hanh said, with mindfulness, you can establish yourself in the present in order to touch the wonders of life that are available in that moment. You see, if you want to live your best life full of joy, happiness, and authentic love, then mindfulness is key. Being present and attuned to reality and to yourself, which is being aware of what you experience internally and to what you do at any given moment, is mindfulness. When you're mindful and in harmony with the present moment, the wonders of life are available to you. Then is your best chance to receive and enjoy all of life's goodness. Another way to understand mindfulness is to look at its flip side, mindlessness. Think of mindlessness as a trance state. It's lack of awareness. It's a blank mind. It's spacing out, being overwhelmed with mental white noise, or just being distracted from reality. If you have ever driven somewhere and didn't remember the drive, then you were mindless. Sadly, too many people are mindless and not present to their own experiences, leaving their lives to luck. Know that mindful self-awareness puts you in charge of what you think, what you feel, and what you do. That is so empowering. So lean into your power to become your best self and to create your best life. Develop mindfulness. To learn more about mindfulness and self-awareness, visit glenalex.com to read my blogs, order your copy of my 3-time award-winning book, Living in Total Health, to take advantage of the Summer Bundle BOGA special, and to book your complimentary consultation with me to enhance your mindful self-awareness. Then tune in to the next episode of the Glen Alex Show, the 2023 Positive Change Podcast Award winner. And until next time, be well.